Hey, buddy. Hi, Kenzie. Too many books. There we go. There they are. Okay, so I think... Yes!
Hi.
It's working.
We did it!
We did it. Technology.
Fantastic. You guys, we've been fighting with Zoom for the last like 10 minutes trying to get this to work. I could see them, they could hear me, but I could not hear anything they were saying. So that sucks. So we're going to do this live instead of recording it and uploading it later. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Going to be great. Cool. So I don't want to take up, oh, your dog's here. That's wonderful.
Yeah, he could not stay away. He's too excited.
So I guess we maybe can even field live questions from anybody who's watching. If anybody wants to ask Joss and Monique anything. Hello. Cool. So yeah, my name is Aaron. I am the co-host of a podcast called Hey Strangeness, which I produce with my wife. And joining me tonight, I'm very, very excited, are Joss and Monique Rose of Frightlife.
Hi.
How are you guys?
We're doing good.
Great. Thanks.
Fantastic. I've been brainstorming this and looking forward to it for quite some time, so I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Of
we were so
course.
excited to get the offer, man. It's going to be a fun time for sure.
Yes, absolutely. So obviously we're going to talk a lot of high strangeness, unsolved, spooky googa. But first, what else do you guys have going on that you'd like people to know about?
Oh, well, we're just continuing the podcast. So we have a lot of ideas to put out through October. We're getting some merch going, and we want to really start our field work and finally get to officially investigating here this month.
Excellent.
Going out and doing some real ghost hunts.
Yeah.
Hopefully catching some of that on video.
Yeah. You've already caught some really interesting stuff in the last few months. A lot of it's visible on your Instagram. Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah. So a lot of the stuff that we've captured actually happens at her school. She owns a preschool. And they recently just bought this new building. And it came with a few extra surprises for us.
A few spirits. So we've really lucked out. And what's funny is in the official meeting before I started leasing this space and renovating this space, I kind of asked the guy, is this place haunted? And he just said, which answer do you want it to be? And I said, well, I want the truth, really, but it's really showing up. So yeah, we have a pretty active place. And so we've been lucky enough to catch things on video, one of which I haven't even released yet, but that will come out soon. It's a pretty good clip with a lot of spooky noises.
Every time you guys drop a new piece of evidence, my jaw is on the floor. I'm like, I can't believe they caught that. Like, just going about their business and they caught that. Like,
yeah, we can't believe we catch it. Like, I don't know.
It's so crazy.
We've lucked out for sure.
Yeah, the chair video, that's like my favorite thing that we've caught. It was just like a regular night. We were still moving into the building and we were putting together some office furniture and stuff. And I had been running up and down because her office was the best place to build the IKEA furniture. But it was all stored in one of the classrooms downstairs. And when I came back down, there was just a ton of crazy shifting of things happening. So I got my camera out and then I was kind of throwing questions out there, hoping to maybe catch an EVP or something. And I was like, hey, was that you moving the chairs? Can you do it again? And it freaking did it. Like I couldn't even talk for a second. Yeah. I was like, and then in the video you're in here, we go like, thanks. Like, I don't know what else to do. It was crazy.
that was one that really got me when you guys posted it. Like, I got chills. I was like, oh my God, like, this is legit. Like, if this is fake, which I don't think it is, but if this is fake, it's a very elaborate next level fake. Like, no, it's
and
really
you know
good.
what's funny is, like, in the moment of filming that, you kind of go through like, this is something that's crazy that's happening right now. And sometimes when you see those videos on YouTube and stuff, and you're like, that's fake. You know, you always like, I was in the moment, I was like, nobody's going to believe this actually is happening. So I was like trying to get angles like around the corner and stuff, so you could see that there's nothing over there. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it took me a good while to kind of compose myself after that, and then I ran upstairs and was like, you wouldn't believe what I just saw.
You gotta come see this. That
was great.
I've liked your show pretty much since the beginning. I'm a fan. I'll just say it. I really like it.
Thank you.
But as you've gone, your research has increased in like detail and intensity. Like you guys are pulling in more facts and more anecdotes. And in addition, you're catching more activity as you go. And I guess this isn't really a question, but I'm not aware of any other podcasts where actual paranormal activity is being picked up in the process of things being recorded and researched. Like that blows my mind.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
And of course we didn't set out to have that be a part of our show, but you know, and a lot of times we leave stuff out because I'm like, this is it's audio medium, so I can't like explain a lot of what's going on. So I don't want to lose listeners when that's happening. So we have a lot of B-roll of just more clinks and movements around the apartment when we're recording.
The unedited podcasts are probably like 2 or 3 hours, and it's a lot of us just sitting like
what was
did you hear that? What was that? What was that? Like just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And I think that our apartment is old. Like I think it was built in 1920 something. So there's history here and there's energies here, and they've always been here. But I think that when we started really kind of delving into the paranormal, it's almost like it kind of made us like beacons for it a little bit, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
I feel like when you open your mind to those possibilities of these things being real, it's almost like spirits can see you better. And they feel like, oh, that person can see me, I'm going to go and knock on their wall or like whisper in their ear or whatever.
They're talking about me right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that correlates too, because you hear anecdotes all the time of people who are getting into weird stuff and high strangeness and saying, I keep noticing all these little things, I keep experiencing all these little synchronicities. And it seems like for a lot of people, including you guys, the more you read into it, the more it seems to kind of pop up in your life and show up there.
Yep.
So it definitely seems to be what you guys are experiencing. It's so cool. Is this the first time, is Frightlife the first time you guys have set out on a project like this?
Yes, for sure. We have always known that we wanted to do something together. It's actually funny, we had our star charts read when we were engaged by this witch in Estacada nearby. And she put in there like our compatibility for being business partners. And my naive mind at the time was like so offended, like, no, I'm marrying this person, not his business partner. Because for some reason I thought those were mutually exclusive ideas. So, but no, they were right. We work really well together. And so we've always known we wanted to do something. And of course, the paranormal was always just naturally unfolding in front of us. So we're like, why not?
Yeah.
And so now we just want to be like the Jay-Z and Beyonce of paranormal investigation.
Goals.
Well on the way. I've been a fan for a while. And you guys always look cool. Like you dressed way nicer for this than I did. Is that
Yeah, fashion is
it's another hobby of ours.
It's a staple. Yeah,
well,
we're
thank
like
you.
definitely into that too.
It's working. It's definitely working.
Thank you.
So I got a couple hypotheticals for you. If you could investigate any location on Earth, where would it be and why?
Okay. So
You got a really good answer for this.
it would be really difficult, and I've seen one investigation team tackle this, but Pompeii is where I want to go and kind of just not even necessarily investigate, but sit in that like stillness of, the gravity of that area.
Yeah.
Where everyone's just preserved in that space.
The energy in that would have to be just
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Totally. And I think I want to go to the excuse me, the Edinburgh Underground. It's called the Vaults there. It's just like a network of underground tunnels. And
yeah, your mom just said Scotland.
Hi, Mom. The history of that place, I mean, similar to like Pompeii, you know, there's so much history and so many lives have traveled through that area. There's energy there for sure. And like, it seems like the older a place is, the more like you are guaranteed to catch something crazy there. So I think for sure something with a lot of history.
Yeah, in Scotland.
Yeah.
Okay, Scotland. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that is, but just in case. That's awesome. That's so fascinating. Now here's one that I think is kind of fun, but you may not want to come down on this one. Some people don't like to. What is one phenomena or mystery or case that you're comfortable being like, no, this is a hoax, this is fake? I've got one, but I want to hear what yours are.
Yeah. Well, I'd be interested to hear yours too. Yeah.
Travis Walton. Sorry, bro.
Oh,
interesting.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
You know,
there are a lot of inconsistencies with that for sure.
And there are varying opinions, and I no disrespect to anybody who is, you know, in with Travis Walton's story. Fascinating story. Yeah. I just don't believe it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No,
that's valid.
That's cool, and that's you know, good on you for just being like, no, I'm not buying it. I mean, that's a popular one too. So,
and I like to leave it on the table. I like to think that nothing should be written off out of hand, but the more I've read about that one, the more I'm just like, sorry.
Yeah, there's definitely some of those come across every once in a while. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but something that kind of irks me are like when you see UFO caught on film or something like that, and you watch those videos and you're like, there's no way that UFO powered up its warp drive and then like shot off, you know, into space or whatever. That's CGI, and you know, like, how dare you try to pass that off?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's offensive, right? Like, come on, for real stuff, and you wanna muddy the waters with nonsense. Yes. And there's so much of that now too, especially because, you know, through social media we have so much access to that. So, like,
oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I talked over you. Sorry.
No, we lost you for just a second.
Had a weird connection fail.
Oh, okay. It's probably my fault. But no, yeah, that's so frustrating, and there's so much of it out there now.
Yeah.
Like
we were talking the other day too about like those like poltergeist videos where it's like someone's kitchen and you see the cupboard fly open and the drawer, and then there's like, that's fishing line, you know, and it's creepy, but there comes a point where it's like, I feel like that's too much evidence almost, like, kind of, I don't know, there's a line there for like what could be believable and what isn't. And
like,
so
like sometimes the picture's just a little too clear. It's like, how do
or the camera's right on the silverware drawer where the knives fly out of it.
Yeah.
Like, why were you filming just directly there with your security system?
Yes. Awesome. So on the other side of the coin there, what is a case that you're confident is actually paranormal that can't be explained through modern science?
Anything to do with Skinwalker Ranch. I am 1000% on board with something is up there.
Yeah.
And I think it's really like major, interdimensional, explains like the meaning of life, everything. The answer is at Skinwalker Ranch.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
I'm with
you. Yeah, totally agree on that. I have to say Bob Lazar's story, for me, that is 100%, like, I believe that dude. And that, I mean, if he's telling the truth, which I think I am, or think he is, that totally opens up, like, UFOs are real, aliens are real. That's it. That's the answer.
Things like he's been proven to be right about it. And like, we know people tampered with his like records and his history. Like, that's known. So yeah, I'm inclined to believe anything that guy says. Definitely. I'm excited. We agree on that. Going back to Skinwalker, you guys just did an awesome 2-parter on Skinwalker Ranch. Is there maybe going to be a part 3? What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it branches off into so many different areas of the realm of paranormal and paranormal phenomena that we can kind of break that down and do a full episode on each thing. So, and of course, things are being revealed. There's still studies happening there right now.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely touch back on that sometime in the future.
Still going on. Yeah, that's a fascinating case. If anybody listening might have just tuned in, I'm hanging out with Joss and Monique from Frightlife Paranormal. We're taking questions and talking about paranormal Googa, because that's what we do. So here's a fun one. What is the weirdest thing you guys have experienced, either separately or together, and or both? You can tell me 3 stories. I mean.
Okay, so there was a time that was what, like
several years ago.
It was a while ago. Okay. We were house sitting for my folks. They were on a wild adventure somewhere, and it was kind of, I think we were there for like 2 weeks, and the first week that we were there, I was taking my mom's dog out to, do her dog business out in the backyard, and all of a sudden I heard this like rustling sound and some kind of like a cackling, like a creature laughing is the best way I can describe it. It was like the most terrifying sound I've ever heard in my entire life. And I immediately went into fight or flight mode, and like I couldn't talk, and I was trying to get my dog to come back inside, and she was in the kitchen.
And I heard him like yell in a weird, distorted way. Like I could tell that he was at the height of terror, and he ran inside and closed the sliding glass door and put like the latch in it and the like the stick thing,
security stick,
the track. And he's like, call the police. There's something crazy out here. And so we actually even like called the authorities.
Really?
The dog, of course, ran inside before him. And they looked around, there was nothing. It had been raining, so they would have seen like prints where Joss had heard this from. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. Over those next few weeks, we had the weirdest experiences, like just little things, but it was almost like we were in a horror movie of our own, but none of it added up or like really came after us. It was like we were just experiencing them one at a time. So we would sleep in, I think, your sister's old bedroom. Mm-hmm. We were just back house sitting. And I heard like just shuffling around all night. And they had a cat and a dog. So at first it wasn't that creepy. But then I started hearing the drawers slide open in the bathroom next to us, and then close again and slide open. And I froze because I immediately think that there's an intruder, which is more terrifying than a ghost. We always say ghost over axe murderer any day. Like, we'll take the ghost. Yeah. So I was thinking it was an intruder and froze and like could barely wake him up because I didn't want him to make any sound. And I think it died down and I somehow fell back asleep because it was just barely in the wee hours of the morning. And I went and kind of checked out the drawers, and anyway, we called friends over because things just felt kind of unsettled. And so we had friends stay the night, and that night we were all hanging out late and kind of just telling stories, and we were all kind of camped out in the like landing upstairs, and we heard this loud shattering, and we searched the entire house, and this was like 3 a.m. Everything was turned off. We were just kind of in sleeping bags. I think we were like 20.
Yeah.
And just hanging out with our closest friends. And we searched the whole house. Nothing seemed out of place. And then I went to like, well, it's, 3 in the morning. I'm going to make a snack. And we have a little snack. And then I opened to put my dishes in the dishwasher. And the dishwasher is just full of glass. So everything in the dishwasher, or a few things in the dishwasher, had just shattered to tiny, tiny pieces of glass. And it hadn't been running. It was, 3 o'clock in the morning. So it was all dark and everything was off. So that made no sense. And then the next night, the phone rang around the same time that all these other disturbances were happening. So we're like, who's calling and why? And they had that caller ID that out loud says like, call from this person. And we couldn't make out what it was saying. And the machine picks up, and it's just like AM radio.
It's like old-timey radio songs, like distorted and like fading in and out. And it just did that for, I had to go downstairs and turn it off because it was like freaking us out. And the phone number was like a jumble of numbers. Like it was weird. It wasn't the right length for a phone number. And we tried to call it just to see the next morning. And it was just like, you know, number can't be reached as dialed or whatever.
It was bizarre. And our friends are skeptics. So this is kind of what started us. Like I wanted to put cameras up, and, you know, this was before we started investigating or really being into any of that specific, like apply the science to this. You know, it was just tell scary stories before that. But it was pretty amazing. And I don't know, we have to check back in and see how they felt about that experience. But they're still skeptics, so I don't know. Sorry.
You could do an entire episode on this, just this one.
Yeah, that we actually probably should, and we'll get those guys to come and like we'll all recount our memories of what happened there. But it was weird because it was a new house. You know, I don't know what it's built upon. Could be some sort of burial ground, but you know, I grew up in that house, and I never really felt any weird energies or anything there when I was growing up, but it was just a really strange like few weeks. It was so strange. Mm-hmm.
That's a terrifying story. Like I got shit.
It
was weird.
It was
we
really
didn't sleep
scary.
much that stay.
I would imagine. I don't think I would have at all. Oof. Thank you for sharing that, guys. Like, that's really interesting. I can't wait for that episode. We do have a question from Joanna Jasmine 21. Would you want to go to the place where the Romanov family was killed and try to contact them? I guess we're talking about Tsar Nicholas of Russia, Princess Anastasia, the last Tsar. Are you guys familiar? Sure, yeah.
Yes, I would love to do that. That would be amazing.
Yeah, like I said before, I mean, any place with a ton of history like that, you know that there's energies there for sure. I think the trick is just getting there.
Yeah.
If anybody's got any extra plane tickets laying around, we'll go.
We'll head over.
That's the problem, you know, before you get to the Travel Channel show, getting there and actually. What projects or investigations that you guys have coming up would you like to tell people about? I don't want you to bury the lead or spoil anything that you're saving as a surprise, but.
I mean, I feel like we can. Do you want to say what our next episode is going to be on?
Yeah, so we are ready. We're going to be recording tonight. We have everything all set to go. We are covering the Bell Witch next, just in time. That's our first October kickoff episode.
That's perfect for spooky season.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm really excited.
You guys are. You're one of the shows that inspired Sarah and I to get into this whole thing, because I've always admired what you do. You guys have a great dynamic. It's so evident in the show that you're very compatible business partners. Really, really enjoy what you guys do. It's awesome stuff.
Hey, thank you. We love your show. We're so excited to hear that we helped with that, because, you know, we're stoked to listen to you guys. We're loving what you're putting out all the time too. So
that means a lot. You guys, that means a lot.
Oh, good.
It's cool to have like podcast bros. You know, like that's a big thing. Like I'm in a band, and like artists supporting artists is such a big thing, because it shouldn't be a competition at all. We should all be trying to like help each other out and like, you know, work together to get the podcast thing going, you know, get the word out.
Yeah. And you're amazing at that. You've been fantastic. Your support is much appreciated.
Yeah.
It's so helpful. We kind of went in as little like lone wolves in this, not realizing like, there's a whole community. And so that has been actually my favorite part so far. And you played a huge part in that. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. No, thank you. This is an awesome community. Everybody I meet or have met has been amazing. You guys have always been amazing. You added me on Instagram. That's how I found out about you. Yeah. And then I was following your stuff, and I was like, these guys are really cool. So thank you so much. Sit here and kiss up all night long.
Yes, stop.
Stop. take up too much of your guys' time. You have a show to record. I can't wait to hear it. Thank you so much for doing this. This is great. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah,
of course.
anytime.
Thank you.
So much fun. Thank you.
Fantastic. Joss, Monique, have a wonderful evening. I look forward to talking.
All right. See you later.
All right.
Bye.